You've been told warships are nearly unsinkable, floating fortresses built to survive anything. That's a lie. Some of the most powerful military ships ever built didn't just sink. They vanished in minutes, swallowed by forces no radar could track and no crew could escape. No enemy in sight, no time to react, just open ocean and then nothing. So what really happens when the sea turns against its own hunters? The ocean is the most powerful and unpredictable force on Earth, and even modern military ships cannot control it. Covering about 71% of the planet's surface, the ocean drives global trade, with over 90% of goods transported by sea. But this same system can turn deadly in seconds. In extreme conditions, storms can generate waves over 30 meters, 100 feet high, strong enough to damage or even sink large naval vessels. Add in powerful currents, sudden pressure changes, and limited visibility, and even advanced radar systems can struggle. History has shown and proven it time and again. And sometimes, these ships don't just sink slowly, they vanish before anyone can react. One infamous mission of 1945 is solid proof of that. In July 1945, the USS Indianapolis completed one of the most secret missions of World War II, delivering key components of the atomic bomb later dropped on Hiroshima. Just days after the delivery, on July 30th, the ship was struck by 2 torpedoes from the Japanese submarine 158. What followed was one of the fastest and deadliest sinkings in US naval history. The ship went down in just 12 minutes. Out of approximately 1,196 crew members on board, nearly 300 went down with the ship immediately. Around 900 sailors were left stranded in the open Pacific Ocean, with no lifeboats, limited supplies, and no distress signal successfully received. For nearly 4 days, these men faced extreme dehydration, salt poisoning, and exposure under the burning sun. But the most terrifying threat came from below. The area was filled with oceanic white-tip sharks. According to US Navy reports, dozens of sailors were attacked and killed during those days in the water. By the time rescue finally arrived, only 316 men survived. That means nearly 75% of the crew was lost. Pause for a second. Imagine you're in complete darkness, surrounded by open ocean. What's the first thing you do? Comment honestly. What makes this tragedy even worse is that the ship's disappearance went unnoticed for days due to communication failures and tracking errors. In many ways, it was as if the ship had simply vanished into the ocean. Then some vanishings seem far stranger and unexplained. The Bermuda Triangle is one of the most debated regions in maritime history, often linked to unexplained disappearances of ships and aircraft. This area stretches roughly between Florida, Bermuda, and Puerto Rico, covering over 500,000 square miles of ocean. While many stories are exaggerated, some military incidents still raise serious questions. The prime example of it is Flight 19, a group of 5 US Navy training planes that disappeared on December 5, 1945. The mission was a routine navigation exercise over the Atlantic. However, during the flight, the squadron leader reported that their compasses were malfunctioning. Radio transmissions revealed confusion, disorientation, and worsening weather conditions. Then contact was lost completely. What makes this event even more mysterious is that a rescue aircraft, a PBM Mariner with 13 crew members, was sent to search for Flight 19, and it also disappeared without a trace. In total, 27 men were lost that day, and no wreckage was ever found. Some scientists suggest natural explanations. Methane gas eruptions from the ocean floor can reduce water density, making ships sink rapidly. Magnetic rays can also interfere with navigation systems. Still, the idea of sudden, almost invisible forces in the ocean remains unsettling. Moving on, there are more things the ocean hides that crush instantly. Unlike surface ships, submarines face a completely different kind of danger. The USS Thresher, a nuclear-powered submarine, is one of the most tragic examples of how deadly that pressure can be. On April 10, 1963, during a deep-diving test off the coast of Massachusetts, the submarine was lost with all 129 crew members on board. The Thresher was one of the most advanced submarines of its time, designed to operate at extreme depths. But during the test dive, a small failure triggered a catastrophic chain reaction. According to the US Navy investigation, a silver-brazed pipe joint likely failed, causing high-pressure seawater to leak into the vessel. This leak led to electrical failures and forced the nuclear reactor to shut down automatically as a safety measure. Without power, the submarine could not control its buoyancy or return to the surface. Emergency ballast systems also failed to function properly. As the submarine sank deeper, the pressure increased rapidly. At depths of around 2,400 feet, the external pressure exceeds 1,000 pounds per square inch, enough to crush steel structures instantly. The thresher was destroyed in what experts believe was an implosion, a sudden collapse inward that happens in milliseconds. And above the surface, destruction can happen even faster. In December 1944, the United States Navy faced one of its worst non-combat disasters during Typhoon Cobra in the Philippine Sea. Admiral William Halsey's Third Fleet sailed directly into a massive typhoon with little warning. What followed was pure chaos. The storm brought winds estimated at over 140 miles per hour, 225 kilometers per hour, and waves reaching heights of 60 to 70 feet, 18 to 21 meters. These conditions were more than even large warships could handle. 3 destroyers, USS Hull, USS Monaghan, and USS Spence, capsized and sank. In total, over 790 sailors lost their lives, and nearly 150 aircraft were destroyed or damaged across the fleet. As waves slammed into the vessels from multiple directions, some ships rolled beyond recovery. Official US Navy reports later confirmed that poor weather forecasting and decision-making contributed to the disaster. This event proved that even the most powerful navy in the world could be helpless against extreme weather. Still, all this raises a big question. What happens when waves behave unpredictably? For years, sailors spoke of massive waves appearing out of nowhere. But today, science confirms that rogue waves are real. These waves can rise over 30 meters, often twice the height of surrounding waves, and strike without warning. One of the most famous confirmations came in 1995, when the Draupner oil platform in the North Sea measured a single wave at 25.6 meters. Scientists now believe these waves form when multiple wave systems combine, creating a sudden and powerful wall of water. For ships, especially smaller or lightly armored ones, the impact can be devastating. Then there are ocean vortices, powerful whirlpools caused by tidal forces and underwater geography. A well-known example is the Mosk-Straumen off the coast of Norway. While not large enough to swallow massive warships entirely, such whirlpools can create extremely dangerous conditions, especially when combined with storms. Some theories suggest that methane gas eruptions from the ocean floor could reduce water density, causing ships to sink rapidly. While rare, this idea has been studied by scientists as a possible explanation for sudden disappearances at sea. So while no confirmed warship has been swallowed by a giant vortex, the ocean still hides forces we don't fully understand. Forces that strike fast and without warning. And maybe that's the most terrifying truth. Not how these ships were destroyed, but how fast they were forgotten. One moment, full crew, full power. The next, nothing but open water. Which disaster shocked you the most? Or do you think some of these were more than just accidents? Drop your thoughts in the comments. If you want more real stories that feel unreal, make sure you see the next one.